Hello and welcome back to Starfox Adventures Part 36, and in this part we'll be taking the final spellstone back to the Ocean Force Point Temple after flying back to Darling's planet.
And we can all be on our way home.
There's an old friend we would all like to see.
So we can stab him in the hooves for abandoning us on this damn rock.
We'd all like to see him very much, especially him hanging over a pit.
There's like only one or two pits in the entirety of the game. No, there's more than that.
You maybe,
but you know, just slightly more.
Does that include the gigantic crater that is rising above Dinosaur Planet?
We don't actually explore those areas.
That is a shame, for that would be a very convenient place for a pit over which we could hang a Mussolini-type general scale situation.
Yeah. We are getting closer to the end of the game. We got the trek back to the Ocean Force Point Temple, the temple itself, and then we have plot to go through.
Very much plot. For plot has been static. Characters same. Quest progressing.
Oh, there's something that I don't think I've actually brought up. The bomb icon, while it's on the field, will block your fucking shots.
Which icon?
You know how you have to collect the bomb power up in order to actually use it, right?
Of course, that's the one that's got the B on it.
Yep. Well, if you fire at the bomb power up, it doesn't destroy the bomb power up, no, but it does block your shots.
It's because it's an actual object in the game. That was that.
Yep, it's an actual object.
That was not in Star Fox 64. You could shoot through those just fine because they were just treated as energy. But now it looks like you're trying to collect giant M&Ms. Yep. They're called B and Bems.
M&Ms, honestly. Alright, so we have successfully landed back on Thorntail Hollow, and from here, this is actually a pretty easy trek. I mean, all we gotta do is go to Ocean Force Point, solve the temple again, and input the spellstone. There's no side quests on the way there, and there's no side quests coming back because of plot.
Quickly, let us ignore everything and just get to the point already. We have known about this for hours.
I mean, I think they did this specifically because, you know, it's the last spellstone. It technically is the completion of a quest. So they don't really need a side quest in order to pad the game time out anymore.
Right.
At least as far as the story is concerned, it's the completion of the quest, so...
Right. At this point, the player is sold on how much time they've invested in the game. This is the part where, especially if this is baby's first Zelda, you want to finally offer the payoff without putting more things in the way.
You know, and maybe get that fight with Ganondorf that you were promised.
Yeah, this is what would be the equivalent of this? Because in The Legend of Zelda, like you get the medallion.
This wouldn't actually be Ganon's Tower for Ocarina of Time. This would be more like. Was the Spirit Temple rather short?
Spirit Temple was. It's short when you're young Link, it's short when you're adult Link, but when you put those two halves together, they make one complete dungeon. Yeah.
So this is more or less the adult Spirit Link segment.
Yeah, which is a short segment indeed.
Although we don't have a boss. Damn it.
Although I've played Legend of Zelda where actually I did the Spirit Temple 4th, and then I did the Shadow Temple 5th. That was interesting. It actually made the Shadow Temple that much more sinister.
And Shadow Temple, you fought Twin Rova there, right?
No, that's Spirit Temple. You fight Bongo in Shadow Temple.
Oh, okay.
It's funny you bring up Bongo, because Dark Souls 3's High Lord Wolnir reminds me very much of a skeletal Bongo. You have to hit his hands. Well, you have to hit his jewelry more specifically, but yes.
Why does hurting his jewelry decrease his health bar?
Because that is his source of power.
So he's a lich?
Yes, actually, he's a lich. I didn't even realize that myself.
Huh. Now that's one of the things that lich kind does that always confuses me. Why would you wear your phylactery?
That is, I think that raises a very strategic dilemma that I have in Magic the Gathering sometimes when I used to run Phylactery Lich. Phylactery Lich is a fucking amazing card. A 3-drop 5/5 indestructible. Like, are you shitting me? And all you have to do is attach it to an artifact you control, which does not necessarily have to be equipped to him.
Right. So what you do is you attach it to Darksteel Signet.
You attach it to something that probably has hexproof, yeah.
No. Well, yeah, hexproof would probably be preferable, but since you only have to attach it to an artifact, can't you attach it to Darksteel Citadel?
Yes, you could, yes.
Yay!
You could attach it to anything. I think, I used to use it with my equipment vampires before I dismantled that for the 3rd or 4th time. But Phylactery Lich, like, I felt bad when I used that card. It is so dirty when it hits the battlefield.
Alright. Now, where is it?
Cannons of Justice.
Not only am I opening up the pathway into the Ocean Force Point Temple, which has been blocked by wooden bars, which we have a fire blaster for, so why can't we just burn them? Or freeze them. We have an ice blaster too. But we are also hunting for...
And the cannons throwing bombs. Starfox is gonna call his mom. And
his mom's dead, dude.
And she won't return his phone calls anymore.
Dark. But yeah, that's where the cheat token for Cape Claw is. I want to say that there's actually a cheat token in each of the major areas of the game. I mean, Thorntail Hollow's cheat token is in the shop. The Ice Mountain is right at the beginning. Snowhorn Wastes is after the Ice River. Cape Claws is there. Moon Mountain Pass is guarded by a moon seed, and what am I missing, Cloud?
I believe we may be missing the fundamental argument that cheaters never prosper. Their ways must remain obscure.
Specifically because the cheat tokens are all they're all cosmetic things for the most part. I think that there's a mirror mode, which could be interesting, but I don't care. There's Sepia, there's the Saurian language translation, and I don't remember what the rest of them are. Those are the 3 that I always end up remembering.
Mirror mode. God, mirror mode would work really well in a game where all of the language and all the characters are made up in the first place.
I'm not sure because trying to play through mirror mode in Jack 2 caused us a small issue with some of the platforming segments. But there we are. The mythical 3rd staff energy meter upgrade.
And it's massive.
This is the last one of these. I mean, I want to think that there's a 4th one, but there isn't, and it's sad.
This game is like a vehicle that was built with a great accelerator. It accelerates, it goes to a velocity, and it gives you all kinds of helpful instructions on how to keep going fast, but my God, should they have remembered to put brakes on it. Or at least remind our travelers that all vehicles eventually must stop.
Not really. I honestly think the game is a tad too long for what it wants to be. It very much wants to be Baby's First Zelda. It does, and we've mentioned that plenty of times. But it does a very good job at being Baby's First Zelda. Thing is, well, the conclusion is horrendously rushed.
Not a good. It teaches you how to reach the payoff, but it sure as hell doesn't demonstrate what a good payoff is.
Yeah, and honestly, I think some of the dungeon areas go on a little too long. Dark Ice Mountain and Cloud Runner Fortress specifically, they go on like, about 10 minutes too long each.
I disagree with that notion. I subscribe to it wasn't Somerset Mom who wrote it. It was somebody who criticized what Somerset Mom said because Somerset Mom released a version of David Copperfield in like the 40s or something. It was abridged. He went through Charles Dickens' work and he edited down the work so that it would be like just bare bones, recognizable and sensible story. But then one of the critics of the book said that, well, when you do that, you remove the essential excess of the human mind that makes a lot of work, well, authentic. I think a similar thing can be said where you try to just only remove everything but what is necessary, and then what you have left is maybe insufficient.
While that's most certainly true for narrative works, for video games in particular, I think that can apply. But for this video game in particular, I really don't think that actually applies here. I mean, the padding in Cloud Runner Fortress is mostly the quest to rescue the queen's children, and honestly, and the opening up the first gate. Do we really need a puzzle to open up the first gate?
Well, I'd say the answer to that question is, who are you to say when the quest line is complete?
I'm not arguing that it's an incomplete or lackluster adventure. I'm arguing that it's a tad lengthy. I mean, certain elements don't feel like they really need to be here, and that they don't really add all that much. Take for example the backtracking in Dark Ice Mines. Dark Ice Mines has several instances where you need to do a small amount of backtracking in order to either obtain a gear or explore an area that you've already explored most of what you can do simply because you got a new power-up. It's trying very much to be, a Metroidvania-esque experience there, but that's not something that Zelda in particular is actually all that good at.
Right, because Zelda in particular doesn't just make you go back and forth on the same fucking route. It usually, that's why it has warp points. Okay, so that's
after Twilight Princess, it has more.
So that's different. That's different, and in a way, yeah, I can totally see backtracking is just a waste of time. That's game design. That is inefficient game design. But I'm saying, like, if you just put a bunch of stuff in a dungeon, even if it takes forever to get through the fucking dungeon, I still hold. Well, who are you to say when the dungeon is finished, whether too long or too short?
Well, as a player, I would much rather have my experience in a dungeon be significantly enjoyable rather than overly lengthy. And to be perfectly honest, although I think that Dark Ice Mines and Cloud Runner Fortress are a tad too lengthy, I still find myself enjoying my treks through them.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're super overly long. I just think they're just slightly overly long. Again, I'm pretty sure you could excise about 10 minutes from each of those dungeons and lose very little.
No, I totally get what you're saying, because when I was playing through Alan Wake recently, I noticed that I was spending a dearth of time in the last level, but it felt like it was starting to drag.
You've been using dearth quite a bit lately. What have you been reading that's been using dearth so much?
Just reading in general. Reading just helps waken up the verbal association network in my brain that helps me make money sometimes. But dearth is a great word.
Dearth is a great word.
It is a word that does not appear often.
We must find the way to raise the water level.
We gotta.
A way to raise the water level.
We gotta find a dude who looks like this. Have you seen him?
And we become said dude. And in the next part, we will finish off the rest of Ocean Force Point Temple.
Swimming.
How bad do you think Fox smells when he's wet?
Wet dog.
Yeah, probably wet dog.